Good evening, everybody. It goes downhill from here on in. I've just got my, I haven't done this before, so I've got my wedding speech here. You see it? And hold on a moment. Groom and bride. Sorry. Oh, look. Bride and groom. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and anybody that's come on to us in the last couple of minutes to have a free meal, you're all welcome. That was pretty much useless, wasn't it? So that gets dispersed. We are here to celebrate the wedding of. Sorry, who are you? Steph and Jack, okay. We're here to celebrate the wedding of Steph and Jack, and I have to say that I guess a lot of you this morning were getting ready and, you know, painting your toenails and fingernails and putting your makeup on and straightening your tights, and that was just the men. But, you know, myself, I was kind of getting a little stressed out because I was looking at my mobile banking app. Now, if you look, you know, if you got one of these things, they have the symbol of the bank that you're banking with, like, you know, the black horse is Lloyd's, Barclays is Illuminati. Mine recently, since Stephanie and Jack have been planning this wedding, has changed. What I've got when I go on my banking app is a little guy with a white flag saying, "I surrender, I surrender." And that's been getting worse since we started planning this. Sorry, Stephanie started planning this 1 year ago. But, you know, I have to say that when Stephanie first told me that she was getting married in Cyprus, I was really pleased because I thought, not because of the weather or this, you know, really romantic venue and the skill of the videographer and the photographers and, of course, the disco, which you will hear later. I was pleased because I thought, what bunch of idiots is going to travel halfway around the world to come to an island which is of such strategic military importance for the start of the Third World War? And then you lot show up. But, you know, we're pleased to welcome you. We have many nationalities here. Well, 3. We welcome those from Canada. We welcome those from England. And we welcome those from Wales. We were going to have some Americans, but Donald Trump wouldn't let them out of the country. But, you know, you're very welcome. And, of course, I know I jest about the, God, the money. But, you know, this is a surprise to the bride and groom and everybody. But we have a fantastic firework display planned for 12 o'clock this evening. And it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The North Koreans are planning it right now, actually. You know, these sort of occasions make me question the meaning of life, which I do on a daily basis as my wife of, how many years? Okay, long time, 38 years, will tell me. I mean, you know, and of course, here we are at this wedding, and we question, you know, our relevance in life and the meaning of life, and I always think about things like, is the hokey cokey really what it's all about? Or, I mean, life to me, you know, at my age, is like a toilet roll. You know, the closer you get to the end, the quicker it goes. And so, that will have, yeah, I'm glad you're getting these, because I'm not. But it does bring back to me the fact that, you know, it seems like yesterday when I was standing here well, not here as such, but in a very rainy part of Swansea, marrying my gorgeous wife. And 38 years later, I'm standing here as father of the bride. And really, nothing seems to have changed, unless I look in the mirror, and that's different. But, you know, I'm still the same sort of age that I was then. And what really brings it home to me, of course, is the way that people look at love these days and how they date. I mean, I hate to say this phrase, but back in the day, back in the day, when a man and a woman were trying to, you know, go out or date, there was this thing called a disco, and men and women used to go to the disco, and the women used to dance in the center, around the handbags usually, and I've never understood why the fact that when they went to go to the toilet, they all disappeared with their handbags, but they did. And then, you know, the men would kind of gather around in a circle and, for want of a better word, ogle the females. And usually then pluck up the courage to go and ask them to dance, get rejected, and go home drunk. But, you know, I was in a kind of privileged position because I was the DJ of most of this stuff. And yeah. But I was, you know, I was therefore privileged to be able to ask my future wife to go out for a date. I mean, I used to use chat-up lines such as, "You like my music? You like me even more." Corny stuff, but, you know, it worked. And the fact that Kim and I came together was down to, I suppose, a combination of luck, destiny, fate, maybe on Kim's side, bad luck. But, you know, there were no mobile phones in those days. There was no ability to text one another. And I, when we arranged a date, and I was half an hour, maybe 40 minutes late, and you know, I was a student, and in those days, a student with a car was, whoa, something else. But I earned that income through my extracurricular activities, if I can put it that way, which is DJing. And when I met Kim, she was, if she hadn't had a friend with her, and they got so engrossed in a conversation that they forgot about the time that when I turned up 30 to 40 minutes late, she'd have gone. And that's sometimes what happens in life, is that you have these experiences, you have this destiny, fate, bad luck, but it happens, and our lives have been together, intertwined ever since. And I know now that I love my wife more than I did then. Not that I didn't love her then, it's just a deeper sort of love. But today, you know, it isn't based on discos, is it? It's based on this thing called algorithms. What the heck is algorithms? You know, how can algorithms know about love and romance? But they do. You know, I gave up algebra when I was in lower school. I mean, what the heck does algebra mean? And then all of a sudden, our lives are controlled by it. I mean, you know, for example, dating today is done by mobile apps. You know, you've all got these dating applications. Some of them are okay. Most of them, I mean, what is this thing called Plenty of Fish? What the heck does that have to do with dating? I mean, have you ever seen two fish walking down the street hand in hand? It just doesn't happen, does it? You know, and then you've got these two goldfish in a bowl going around. I mean, you know, we all know that goldfish have an attention span of 30 seconds. So one goldfish is probably saying, wow, I like that, I fancy that. And 30 seconds later, after they've gone around and swimming, they've forgotten. So, wow, I like that again. I mean, they've got nothing to do with the romance. So when, and this is the other thing, is that everything is also about texting. So conversation has died. So the communication is between, when you have a daughter, it's not between the daughter and the father, it's between the daughter and the mother and the father. then gets the information from the mother. So when you are then told that, hey, Stephanie has joined this dating application called Plenty of Fish, first thing you think of, what the heck is going on here? And then the next thing is, I am told via Kim that she has found somebody. And the person she has found is based in Tembe. He looks like Clark Kent. And he's a stand-up comedian. Now, as a father, what's my first thought? Pervert.
You'd be right.
And then I hear via Stephanie, via Kim, that they're going to date. Or rather that this person, who hasn't got a name yet, is going to arrive in Swansea on a train from Tembe, and they're going to meet on Beaujolais Day. Now, Beaujolais Day doesn't exist in any part of the UK apart from Swansea, because the rest of the UK has moved on. But Swansea, no, it's still got Beaujolais Day. So the first thing is that I'm thinking that what's going to happen is that my daughter is going to meet this person coming off a train who's going to probably turn out to be not the portrait of or pen pick of the website, the mobile app, but probably an 85-year-old with a limp that's got lots of money. That's my first thought. I'm a father. So I am then getting a conversation. Well, you call it conversation, it's via texting. Third party to myself, from Stephanie, via Kim to me. And if I can remember what it goes like, it's something like this. Stephanie texting to Kim. He's arrived. Kim to Stephanie. What's he look like? Stephanie to Kim. Don't know. He's gone to the toilet. Stephanie to Kim. We're going for a drink in Wine Street. Now, that's just a place in South Wales and people get drunk. And not much else happens. But, you know, so Kim to Stephanie. What's going to happen then? Stephanie to Kim. Don't know. He's gone to the toilet. Then we get a text from Stephanie to Kim, to me. Stephanie to Kim. He says his middle name is Elvis. Kim to Stephanie, WTF? Now, I have to say that Karen and Bob, when you chose the name Elvis, it was a serious stroke of genius. It was a serious stroke of genius. I only realized it last year. I mean, we went on a Route 66 trip with Jack, and everywhere had a Elvis has stayed here motel. I mean, it was so many that I doubted whether Elvis had ever stayed at home. But he obviously did. But this situation with the name Elvis, I mean, and the benefit of it came home to me last year when we came to Cyprus initially, and we flew into Larnaca Airport. And, you know, those of you that have traveled a lot will have known that to hire a car, you usually get the Avis, you get the Hertz, you get, you know, whatever. And you get hassled to death at airports about all the extra charges. This didn't happen at Larnaca. I mean, we were told to walk out of the terminal. There was no signs about car rental, but there was these two old Cypriot guys sitting under an umbrella. And as we approached, one of them said, "Lewis?" And I said, "Yes." "Okay, sit down." Driving license. And for the next 5 minutes, he filled out the driving license. No conversation at all, apart from these two Cypriot guys talking, Greek, Cypriot, whatever. No communication with us. And then he said, "Any other driver?" I said, pointing at Jack, "Yeah, Jack." driving license. I thought for the next 5 minutes, the same sort of thing is going to happen. But it didn't. He looked at Jack's driving license. He started filling in the names. He paused. He looked at Jack. He said, "Is your mum a fan of Elvis?" Jack said, "Yes." He said, "My mum's a fan too." And as a result of that, what happened then was that they openly communicated with us, and not only that, threw in an extra car. And that is, that is the benefit of having the middle name of Elvis. And I've wondered about this. I've always wondered about this toilet habit that Jack has. And what is the relevance and the link there between Elvis and the toilet habit? And it only came to me recently, thank you, Amy, for telling me, but Elvis died in the toilet. So that's the link. Now, I have to say that since we've known Jack, he has probably seen some of the best toilets in the world. When we go to the theme parks in America and queue up and, wait a couple of hours, where's Jack? He's in the toilet. And then he appears at the end of the rides that we've all been on. We go to a bar. We start ordering at the bar. Where's Jack? He's gone to the toilet. I can understand that one. And then there's the other thing that on his phone, and this is a true story, on his phone he has a special app. He can locate all the Starbucks branches in the UK which do not replace toilet roll after he's been in there. He is absolutely, I cleaned that one up. I could have gone further down that one. But he is an absolute, he takes going to the toilet to another level. We are, in our house, we are kind of liberal, let me put it that way, in our bathroom and toilets. We don't have a lock. We really don't have a lock. So when you go to the toilet, you've got to knock on the door. And then, depending who's in there, we'll get the reply. And I will, I'll just throw out a few things here. I'll let you guess who's in there. One is, if you knock on the door, "Do you mind?"
Kim.
And then the other one is, "Sod off."
Kim.
And, but Jack, when he's using the bathroom, he says, when you knock on the door, he says, "Occupied." Occupied? That's just like, when you are in somebody's guest house or in somebody's house and they say, "Would you like to use the facilities?" What the heck are you talking about? But occupied? And I have to say again, Karen and Bob, this is the standard that you brought your children up to. A sophisticated standard that when when you're using a bathroom, you say occupied. So we've got to basically understand Jack's daily rituals since we've known him. And do I go any further? No, I won't. But I will say to this, I knew that it was getting serious between these two people when, once again, Kim gets a text from Stephanie saying, "Jack wants to ask you permission to marry me." And it's the difference between the sexes here. Kim thinks, "Oh, how lovely." I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? So then I think, okay, this is really great, because I can remember, again, back in the day when I had to ask permission to marry Kim and what people used to go through. Well, I went through. And I thought, okay, this is going to happen now. This is going to be a situation which is going to happen when maybe we're out in the back garden having a glass of wine. It's very sophisticated. The sun is shining. Or, we're going for a meal and the question is posed. None of that. We picked up Jack one day when he didn't have the car, and I was driving. Kim was in the front next to me, as she always is. and Jack gets in the back. So for about 3 or 4 minutes, there's dead silence. Then I kind of hear this unintelligent mumbling coming from the back seat. It's like the old, flower pot men show when, do you remember that? Flobber, lobber, lobber, lob. And I'm trying to put together the words that Jack is coming out with. Barcelona, bought the rings, proposal. But I can't. So, to be fair to Kim, she stops Jack in his kind of tracks and says, look, Jack, Jack, are you trying to ask James permission to marry Stephanie? Great. Jack says, well, after a pause, yeah, I guess I am. And at that particular moment, I wound down the window and pretended to be physically sick outside. And I think it was that realization from Jack that my family that I'm leaving or is joining us, the Booth family, is a little bit eccentric maybe, but I'm joining an even more eccentric family, the Lewises, because my father-in-law, potential father-in-law, is pretending to be sick out the window. But, he didn't budge an inch. He just stuck in there and grew to be more and more part of our family. And a part of our family that's become, to the extent that we can't currently live without him. And now, that's enough of Jack. Thank God I could go on. To my daughter, Stephanie. Well, there she is, sitting in a resplendent wedding gown, maybe slightly overpriced, but, it's well worth it, Stephanie, absolutely. You look $1,000, really do. And it's interesting that when Stephanie was born, I was, once again, had to go out and earn some sort of living doing DJing, and had to go out on this particular Saturday night with the words ringing in my ear, I think the contractions have started. And I did my, what they call a set, that's the in thing for DJs. Rushed home as I could, as hard as I could in the early hours of the morning. And then, this is the amazing thing with you ladies, is that you can walk down the drive with your little bag and get in the car, and then within 10 minutes of going to the local hospital, you can't get out of the car. It's just such an instant transformation. And I'm, there, my records are still in the back, because again, we had vinyl, not what DJ Dan has these days, but we had, it was vinyl then. And we managed to get kind of combination of getting a nurse and myself, putting Kim in the wheelchair, and Stephanie was born within 15 minutes of us getting into the hospital. And it's one of these children that it comes out, and Kim's a large part of this, believe it or not, that comes out beautiful. And not only did she come out beautiful, but she came out talking. And she hasn't stopped since. And then, again, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful rather, but, with certain ladies, you're born to be mothers. And certainly my wife was. But as a father, I had to learn the hard way. And particularly with daughters. But we started this marvelous adventure together. And again, there's a link between Jack's toilet habits and Stephanie's early upbringing, when she managed to lock herself in probably the best Disney resorts ever, where we got on, she did that so many times that we got on first name terms with the maintenance man who came to lock her, to release her. But she, I suppose, she had a kind of a very privileged childhood, because she saw things in terms of You know, she was always interacting with Disney and cartoon characters. You know, I mean, Scooby-Doo, for example, would pop out of the VIP toilet at Gatwick Airport. She thought nothing about it. You know, she would walk down the street with Shamu from SeaWorld and as if it was some normal activity. But of course it wasn't. But the lifestyle we had at that time, it was. And she began to learn really that the habits, like, you know, brushing your teeth, she did via Barney the dinosaur. You know, learning about how people lived together, how people interacted together, how people got on together no matter what their nationality or color. She did largely via Sesame Street. And then the inner child, the imagination, came via Disney. And she grew up with those sort of, you know, fundamentals. And she has stuck with those today. She has traditionally, and she's utilizing those things, which I'm proud to say, in her current role as a nursery manager, and impacting the children under her care with the same sort of, you know, of values that we try to introduce to Stephanie. And I have to say that as adults, we are kind of too arrogant sometimes to think that we impose on children. We don't. We learn more from children and our sons and daughters than we could ever give to them. And Stephanie has been a prime example of that. And I have lived and loved more deeply because of your existence than I will ever know. So, there is a song which, for some reason, I found out about when I was 13, maybe 14. And I didn't know, obviously, at that time, I was, 13 for crying out loud, that it would have an impact on me. I knew that it was a song of deep meaning. And when you look at the music out there, there's a lot of songs about mothers and sons and daughters, but there aren't too many about fathers and daughters. And this was a particular one. Now, this goes back to 1967, okay? And I was about 13 or 14, and this particular song and the lyrics of it always had a significance to me. And I couldn't work out what it was, other than it was about, something deep going on with human relationships. So the song is called Father of Girls, and it was sung by, I suppose, the Michael Bublé of that day, a guy called Perry Como, long dead. But, I mean, he had 2 daughters, and he sang it with a particular meaning. And I am not going to sing it to you tonight, you'll be glad to know. Yeah, I know. I could, but I won't. But, I mean, the lyrics to me, even at that tender young age, meant something which was so deep. And I'm not a religious person by any stretch of imagination. I mean, I'm not. Maybe spiritual, but certainly not religious. But when I look back and think, why did I like and why did that song have a particular effect on me? I've got no answer. Let me read you some of the lyrics. And this to me sums up the complexity of the relationship between a father and a daughter. When you're the father of boys, you worry. But when you're the father of girls, you do more than that. You pray. From the time of diapers and pins until the time they cry, "Don't come in," till the time you gown them in white, You worry. You worry. You worry night and day. When you're the father of a plain little girl, you worry. But when you're the father of a beautiful little girl, you do more than that. You pray. And that basically conjures it up to me. And that's what Stephanie has meant to my life. And so we come on to a couple of things here, which I want to say before I kind of wind up and hand over to somebody far better and more capable, the groom. Firstly, I mentioned some of the, some of the stuff that Stephanie was brought up on, and one of the books was Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. And when Piglet asked Pooh, "How do you spell love, Pooh?" Pooh replied, "You don't spell it, Piglet, you feel it." Love is a mysterious force. It is an absolutely mysterious force which bonds people together to care about one another that they are not genetically tuned to. They're not genetically partnering with. And that's what I see in Stephanie and Jack. And the other thing is this, is that when you look around and you see marriages and you see weddings, statistically 42% of the people that got married in the UK last year ended in divorce. And I want to say to Jack and Stephanie, when we got married, nobody gave us any advice. We didn't know what was going to face us. And I like to say that we faced many what I call exocets, which are things that come out of the blue. Where the heck did that come from? And it happens. It's part of life. And we lost a child, as many of you know. And we put everything into our business and had to rebuild that again. And some of these experiences, we really didn't want, but we didn't want at all. But we faced them. Nobody said to us, life is going to, we thought when we were married that life was going to be great. We weren't going to face any of these challenges at all. But unfortunately, life always tests you. And what I've always wondered, what the heck has kept us married together for 38 years, other than the love for one another? And if I can pass on some advice right now, it's not just that, it's combining your special memories that you have today, the way you look at one another when you initially actually met via that Plenty of Fish website. It's the, hold on for this, passionate kisses. It's all of those things. And it's the memories of days like today that drag you through the bad times that you're going to get, plus a sense of humor. But it's more than that, I think. When you listened to them earlier on this afternoon, you heard them go through their vows, look at one another. But those vows, which I have to say, from a UK perspective, were far more important and relevant than anything in the traditional ceremony in the UK. It still is not personal enough. And one of the things that's kept our marriage together is that when Kim and I are having an argument, no, let me put it another way, throwing plates at each other, holding each other by the throat, I came up with a set of words which were unique to us. And I call these the power of love words. And when we are in an argumentative state, we, as our children would know, that has been on a regular basis, I go to my office and I look at these words and I say these words to myself and we largely go through it. Now, I want to, because I'm a man of tradition, I want to pass these words down to Jack and Stephanie. And I don't care if you use these words ever again, Jack, what I want you to do is add to them. What I want you to do is think about them, say them from your soul, and remember when you say them, this special day, and also when you have children of your own and you're standing here wondering where the hell did my life go, then you will remember myself, Kim, Karen, and Bob, and all the Booths, and all the Lewises, and all our friends and family. So what I'd like to ask you now, bride and groom, is to stand up, please. Right, so face one another, and put your hands together, palms together. Now, if you can do the Star Trek thing, that would be great. Because remember, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. All right, so here we go. I'm going to ask Jack to say a few words and repeat after me, and loud enough so that all the people can hear it. And luckily, here's something that I made up earlier. It is actually, I remember bringing it from the UK at my office, and they are called the love words, the love promises, in fact. You ready? No, keep your hands together for crying out loud. Do as you're told.
Maybe like that?
No, like that. Star Trek. Go on.
You can't do it on one.
No, they can't do it. All right. So
I can.
Are you looking at the cameras? Are you looking at the people? All right. Here we go.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here we go. And for this, I am unfortunately got to put my glasses on, which shows how old I am. Here we go. Jack, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Take a deep breath. So, I promise to look at you and always see you.
I promise to look at you and always see you.
Bit louder, Jack, next time.
Okay.
I promise to listen to you even when you say things I don't want to hear.
What was it?
I knew this was going to happen. I promise to listen to you even when you say things I don't want to hear.
I promise to listen to you even if you say things I don't want to hear.
Okay, this is the deep one, Jack, so you've got to concentrate on this one. This is really deep now. I promise to respect you.
I promise to respect you.
The you that is you.
The you that is you.
The you that is not me.
The you that is not me.
The you that is not us.
The you that is not us.
I think you did very well. I promise to stand by you in the world.
I promise to stand by you in the world.
I promise to delight in you.
I promise to delight in you.
I promise to treat you like the princess that you really are.
I promise to treat you like the princess that you are.
With my mind,
With my mind,
with my body,
with my body,
with my heart,
with my art,
with my imagination.
with my imagination.
I promise to love you
I promise to love you
for as long as I live.
for as long as I live.
A round of applause, please. You can sit down.
Thank you.
So, Jack, this is now yours.
Thank you.
I want you to keep it safe.
I will do.
Remember the times when you disagree. Look at that. Add to it. Hand it down from family to family. One last thing before I close. Jack and I recently went out for a meal. And at the end of the meal, What was the last thing you said to me, Jack?
Did I pass the interview?
You said, did I pass the interview? To which my reply was,
It was an interview, it was an audition.
it wasn't an interview, it was an audition. Tonight, Jack Elvis Booth, you've passed the audition with flying colours. Welcome to our family.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's be upstanding. Let's say hip hip chin chin to the bride and groom.
Right.
Cheers. Thank you.